Today is the launching of the missing piece. And I really appreciate everyone who is online right now joining in to listen to this first podcast of the missing piece um, with Lydia Amputees Foundation. The missing piece started when someone came to me with a question that I could not answer. I realized that a lot of amputees are here looking for answers to some of the missing pieces that they have. And not only amputees at best, but a lot of people at large are struggling with what might be a missing piece. And in this podcast, I am going to have an open floor of where anyone can bring their subject matter or talk about what is bothering them that they felt is a missing piece. I know for us amputees who are here, the missing piece might be surrounded by our limbs only. But I will tell you this, the missing piece is not just surrounded by our missing limbs. The missing piece is surrounded by a plethora of events that have come across in our lives. And today, I am launching the missing piece so that this podcast will go far and wide, where people are going to come back and say, Lydia, I am so glad that you have this podcast to talk about the missing piece in someone's life. For every week that we're going to have the podcast, there is going to be a subject theme that we're going to talk about. And again, we are open, we at Laugh are open to any subject that someone wants to let me bring on the table to talk about. This is more or less another awareness avenue for Laugh to show that we are not just stagnated in one place. We are going places, we are going wide, we're going bigger. Today, I want to talk about myself, Lydia. Some people here already know me or knew me, but there are a few people who may have never met me in real life. Again, my name is Lydia. I was born Lydia John from Freetown, Sierra Leone in West Africa. I got married 28 years ago to Andrew Gray. And now my name is more or less Lydia Gray than Lydia John. I will say to you, if someone call me Lydia John, I will take a second look because maybe that person knew me from way back when I was a teenager. But most people know me for Lydia Gray rather than Lydia John. I started Lydia Amputees Foundation, Laugh, as a 5K walk only. I started it because on March 5th, 2020, I lost my left dominant hand. It was on that fateful day. It was such a day of when I don't know whether my life was coming or going. But let me tell you how this happened. Lydia found herself to be a black successful woman, thinking I want to be a big shot, not knowing that the Lord have another plans for me. On that day, I left work at 5 o'clock. picked up my children from home for them to come out and help me in the kitchen where I was making chin chin. In New Jersey that we live, any snack that's public is going to be consumed for commercial purposes cannot be produced in one's kitchen. You have to do it in a commercial kitchen area. So, with Lydia being the person who she is, I rented a kitchen, bought machineries from China. It was such a happy moment for me. I got every machines to make myself look famous. And truth to be told, yes, I was in supermarkets, in convenience stores and other places that I was selling this chin chin and I thought I was going somewhere. I have my people supporting me saying that Lydia, you can do it, you can do it, you can do it. And I was pumped up. My muscles were all swelled up and I was pumped up to get this chin chin off the ground and becoming big. And you will walk around and see Nadine's chin chin in a store and you're going to say, this is Lydia's own. Like I said earlier, God have another plan for me, which I did not foresee coming to me on March 5th. It was on that day at 8:30 when my daughter said to me, Lydia, mom, not Lydia, mommy, with excitement, this machine is not working. I was preparing to join the International Food Show at the Jarvis Convention Center in New York, which was starting that Friday and will end the Sunday, I think, which was like about March 8th. So I was under pressure as well. But at the same time, I was excited because I was hoping that somebody will see me and buy into my commodity and make it a bigger product in a supermarket. So when she called me, I run to the machine, I push her aside, and I try to troubleshoot. When I put my hand to troubleshoot, the machine just went overdrive on my hand. I was stuck in the machine for over 30 minutes. It was at that moment, during the 30 minutes, I start asking myself this question. What does it take for me to be successful? Is it am I supposed to lose my hand? I have struggled all my life as a child. And did I say to you guys earlier that I was an orphan at the age of 11? I lost my father at 9 and my mother 2 years later at 11. Life in Sierra Leone was a struggle. It was a struggle. Growing up as an orphan in Africa, it was a struggle during that time. I grew up hard. I grew up poor. Sometimes there was hardly anything to eat in my home that I grew up. But I stayed steadfast in making sure that I am educated. Talking about education, with all my struggle, I was able to attend one of the best secondary schools for the Americans who are here It is the high school. High school in where I grew up is it's not based on your zip code. It's based on your academic achievement. I scored enough points to go to one of the best schools in Sierra Leone, the Methodist Girls High School, of course. We were all girls. And I will tell you, most of those girls came from affluential homes. They came, their parents were lawyers, doctors, engineers, you name it, or maybe big business people. I was lucky enough to be in the presence of those people during that time. And I did my best during that secondary education in Sierra Leone. Even through poverty, I strive to get passing grades so I will make it in life. Then I came to the United States just a few years after I finished high school. My brother, who promised me to bring me to the United States after he left in 1982, while I was in Form 2 or Form 3 at the Methodist Girls High School. My brother promised to send me to bring me to the United States, and he kept to that promise, and I was able to come here and join him and his family. The promise that I made to myself, not to him, to myself, not to let him down, but to make sure I strive to my best in my educational aspect. Well, lucky me, I got a job at Rutgers University as a dining service worker, washing dishes. And washing dishes was good. They gave me the best money I've ever had in my life. I was able to pay my rent, drive a car, eat food. I was living my best life. I was living the American dreams at that time. Nobody could say anything to me. I was in dining service making some money. But when I looked back and said to myself, when I would come home after working a 10-hour day, tired from washing dishes, washing pots for over 5,000 students that came to that particular dining hall only, I start thinking, is that the only reason why I came to America to do this kind of job? I need something more for myself. While talking to some of the young ladies and young men at the dining hall, they were saying, "Oh, after you work for 6 months for the Rutgers University and they made you benefit employee, you can transfer to another department." And then my eyes went, "What? I could leave the dish room and go to somewhere else?" And they said, "Yes. Six 6 months and a day." I start filling out other application to transfer from dining service to another division within the Rutgers. I started working for security overnights. It was 7 p.m. to 3 a.m. in the morning. And Lord knows, at 10 o'clock, I could not keep my eyes open. That was one of the hardest times to stay awake during an overnight shift at Rutgers University. It was such a struggle at the time. I remember talking to one of the supervisors one time, and I told her, I said, "Lieutenant Miller," I said, "I cannot keep my eyes open. And she said, Lydia, I don't know what to say to you. He said, I could give you toothpicks to put both of them in your eyelids to keep them open. But I did not understand what she was saying because I was not familiar with the slang, not knowing that it's just a way to say to keep your eyes open. You can put toothpick in your eyes. It's just a euphemism for being sarcastic during that time. That's when I started taking classes at Rutgers University, one class at a time, until I started feeling comfortable. Then I start taking two classes. Then, as I feel pumped up about again, I start taking three classes, four classes. Man, I want to graduate out of Rutgers University and have a bachelor's degree. But before I graduated, I went back to work for dining services. But this time, not in the dish room, but in their office, being the representative that hire people, do their payroll, and do a lot of administrative work. So now I was a big shot wearing high heel shoes and dress and walking past the dish room and going to an office. But my bouts did not stop there. After I graduated, I went into UNDMJ, which is now part of Rutgers University, Audit and Advisory Services. It's the same university. One is the medical part, and then the other one is liberal arts university. Now I became an auditor. You know what else? What else is bigger? Lydia is now a bigger. Now she's an auditor, working for UNDMJ and Rutgers University. But it did not stop me from doing so. Now I want to be a businesswoman. Not that I have not adventure businesses during my time while I was working. All the while I was doing this work, um, claiming my accolade in academic and at my job place, I was still doing other things because that's who I am. I am a very ambitious woman. That's why I am. That's how I stand here today or sit here today to talk to you again. Now I jump into the chin chin business, which is an African snack. As a child growing up, a teenager, an orphan, living in foster home, I would say, chin chin was what's keep us having food on the table daily. We make it the nights before, and then the next day, after I get off school, I will go to the offices and sell the chin chin and various other commodities. The lady that is my mother's cousin was raising me, was making so that weekends could meet at that time. So chin chin became my business of choice. I started working and making more of this chin chin and selling it on this fateful day, March 5th. I thought I lost all hopes, but I did not, because otherwise I will not be sitting here talking to you, to none of you listening to me right now. But at the same time, I felt disappointed. I felt embarrassed. I felt ashamed. I felt every kind of humiliation just wobble over my emotion. I was depressed. I was crying. I was sick, but I stayed strong. I stayed grounded because I have children at home. that were looking forward. They were looking up to me as their role model. If I crack, I'm losing them. I could not allow myself to go through the rabbit hole of depression too much. I cried a lot. But whenever they're coming through the room, I will wipe my face up and then put on a great smile for them. So they would not see me in my state of despair. That's what kept me alive. When I look at my only child, who was 17 at the time, and I said to myself, if I do anything ridiculous or adverse to myself, what am I leaving behind? I want to see her grow up into a beautiful woman. Okay. Then one day they gave me, I went for prosthetic hand. They gave me a hook, which I hated so much. And then they gave me a myoelectric hand. Some people will say they've never seen me use the myoelectric hand, but I do use it. And my myoelectric hand can grab, holding it to the glass. I will stop it from, and it does a lot of things for me, helping me out. But when they gave me the bill for my myoelectric hand, which is $125,000, and then they said you have to pay 25% because your insurance only paid 75. I said to myself, have I not lost enough of myself? I lost my investment for my job because I depleted my retirement fund to set up the kitchen and buy the machine. I was going down the whole COVID was ravaging the United States at the time. My husband was not working. I was not working. Things were getting hard for us. And now I have to pay $35,000. Where was I going to get that kind of money to pay for a Mayo electric hand? Then this my favorite statement is this: the price you pay to be a strong black woman in America. After I got myself together, I brought the hand home. They didn't let me leave the hand because the insurance had paid more than I owed them. So they gave the prosthetic innovation place gave me the hand to come home. I thought about, okay, I was able to get a myoelectric hand, but there are a lot of amputees out there who cannot afford a myoelectric hand because they don't have the kind of insurance I have working for the state of New Jersey. That's how I started Lydia 5K walk for amputees. That first 5K walk becomes so successful, and amputees them all over the country and out of the country were calling upon me. How can I help them? That's when I decide to continue with the foundation, with naming it now Lydia Amputees Foundation. From Lydia Amputees Foundation, now the growth of the missing piece. The missing piece came about, like I said, when amputees start questioning me about certain aspects. To give a clear disclaimer, I have no knowledge about social working, psychiatric, psychology, or counseling. I cannot counsel any amputees. I don't know it. It's not my expertise. What I am doing right now is talking out of reality, experience, what I know, not because I want to be a counselor. Someone asked me about bead. That's a word I've never heard in my life. It is spelled BIID. Bead is a kind of mental illness in individuals who are thinking that they want to have their body part mutilated, which in retrospect is amputated just because it's something that they think it's looks funny. So when this individual spoke to me, I told him, I said, I don't know about what you're talking about. But at the same time, I reached out to my doctor, my prosthetic innovation place, and some of the psychologists that the psychiatric counseling people that I speak to all the time, because my life is with counseling all along. I'm always in counseling, regardless of whether or not you see me looking all strong here. Tomorrow, look at me in a counselor's office, bawling my eyes out because I am still a human. I'm going through stuff. I'm going through difficulties, hard times, emotional disengagement of myself. And no one could give me an answer of what bead is. Then I said, well, I'm gonna bring it out to the masses. Nobody could answer me. But in this podcast, we might find the answer to what bead is. We may not know it today, but maybe one day we might be able to tell someone or others who think that they want to do something harmful to themselves to say it is not as easy as it looks. Losing a body part is an emotional disconnection. You go out in public, you're watching whether someone is looking at you. Now is how do we find strength? My strength does not start from losing a limb. My strength started when I lost my parents and how to navigate in Sierra Leone as an orphan, going to one of the best schools in Freetown. How do I find strength to go through that? That's where my strength started. I thought when I lost the limb, at that moment, I thought I lost that strength. I went back and said, Lydia, what are you doing? You can do this. I find strength in my inner self, in the people around me. I have a plethora of family and friends who came around me to say, Lydia, you cannot go down. A cousin of mine left Maryland the day that I told her I lost my hand and stayed with me in the hospital for a whole week. A friend of mine risked a job just to come and stand there by me at the bedside to help me cry at that moment. My brother my sisters, my friends, they all stood by me. My husband, who could not cry in front of me, but I knew he cried behind my back because he does not want to see me losing a limb. If my daughter was sitting right here right now, she would have walked away from me because she does not express this to me. But I know that every time I talk about my loss, there is something within her that she cannot transcend within herself. She will walk away until I finish my PD story, and then she comes back. And my nephew as well, who was there with me also the day I lost my hand. They all went through a plethora of what is going to happen to me after this loss. But you know what? Look at me. I find strength in you all. So, where is your strength? Again, I will want to ask a few people who might want to talk to me about where they find their own strength, because I just want them to be able to open up a little bit and talk about their strength. Is anyone here who would like to talk about our strength? Anything, everything, whatever you want to talk about. You can talk about anything. It does not have to be your amputation. It does not have to be, just talk about your strength, where you find strength after a loss.
My strength literally comes from somewhere deep inside me. Um I as you know, I lost my arm due to a bacterial infection and did not see it coming. It happened rather quickly, but I was supported by family and friends and had to learn 100% how to do it on my own. So it's it's more about I guess trusting yourself to a certain extent. And if you have the support of family and friends, then you can make it work. So I did not see this happening. Like this happened within 12 hours, literally. In the hospital, airlifted by helicopter. It was that dramatic. Um, but once I woke up after a coma and saw that my arm was gone, um, I realized, and this is what happens when you say the missing piece. For me, the missing piece happened to be me not appreciating my body, my family, and my friends. Like that was the missing piece, which I did not understand until sometimes things happen for a reason, Lydia, which you know. Something bad can happen and you can make it better. Something good can happen, you can make it worse. For me, thank God, uh, I lost my arm, but I gained more than I lost. In the last almost 2 years, I've had to fight my way back. My arm amputation is about here. It's above elbow, but I have this awesome prosthetic that has taught me how to live again. And my family has supported me. My friends have supported me. You have supported me, and I thank you.
And
Yeah.
I am glad to see you thriving, Christina. When I met you in Collinswood, think about a year and a half ago,
Mhm.
it was a very hard day for me to see you in the states that you were. But today, look at where you're at.
Yeah.
I am glad I was able to be part of your journey
You were
when you thought nobody was there for you.
you're a major player in my journey. I hope you know that.
Thank you. That's the reason why I started the Lydia Amputees Foundation. No, I don't want to be a major part in someone's life, but I just want to be making a difference in someone's life, one step at a time.
Well, between you and Dr. Shaw and his team, the fact that I would go to his office once a month, and you know, I would say 9 times out of 10 you were there. Like, you met my mother, like you were a huge player. So it was just another reminder that you can get through this. Okay. You wake up every morning, you do the right thing. And even if you're tired, we're all tired. Okay. Let's be honest. However, you have to always put your best foot forward or your best arm, whatever it is, and just keep going.
Wonderful, Christina. All right, I will get back to you if we need any more. I have a good friend here from Alabama, James.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
No longer in Alabama. I'm in Tennessee now.
Oh, oh, wow. Welcome to Tennessee. You didn't give me that update, but congratulations on your move to Tennessee.
Yes, yes. I'm glad to be on the call with you today. I'm glad that you sent me the link. You say where your strength come from. I don't. Well, for me, for today, I'm just glad to be on this call. I've been amputee for 37, almost 38 years to be this coming May. So all of you all are big inspiration to me. I just wish they had different platforms or different things like this when I lost my leg. Because when I lost my leg, I thought I was completely alone. So for 14 years, I had to battle being amputee solo. I was just around, able-bodied people, and I had to do the best that I could do. So I just like to congratulate all you all because I don't think there's anybody that's on this call that's probably 37 years in. But Lydia, I just want to say you're a big inspiration to me today. 'Cause I didn't know your story, growing up in Africa the way you did. You was an orphan, I guess what, at 11?
Yes.
No mother, no father, growing up poor. We think we poor over here, and I'm listening to your story. I'm like, wow, So I just like to congratulate that everybody that's on this line, and you all inspired me to keep going. I got a non-profit organization too. My thing is seeing other amputee, overcome their disability, inspire me. Just to keep going because sometimes you can feel alone. And just seeing another amputee just making it through another day is an inspiration to me. So I'm just so glad that I remembered the time because I'm like 1 hour behind you all. So certain things happened today that made it possible for me to be on this line. And I just want to tell Miss Tina, keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going, keep
Yeah,
going.
we're rooting for you, Miss Tinner.
Yes, yes. And I had to crack up laughing when she said, take one step ahead. And she said, one hand, I gotta, because I've been around most of the people I've been around is leg amputation. So I was so glad when me and my wife now came out to New Jersey and seeing, someone with a prosthetic arm. So hands up to you, Miss Tina. Hands up. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Oh, hey, I'm very okay. Uh, First of all, congratulations, Lydia, for launching this podcast.
Thank you.
Uh, First, I'd like to thank everyone who's online on this podcast, the inaugural launch. And I do not want to say so much, only that I'm calling from outside the United States. I'm calling from Canada. And one thing I would like to say is everybody who has had the experience that we're talking about today to feel proud of themselves, to feel proud in the sense of how courageous they have been. So going through trauma like that can make some people give up in life. There are all sorts of temptations on what to be, to maybe take up that. Some might even just that their life is no longer worth it, and therefore they don't need to be on the of this earth. So you being here with us and taking the courage to do this, I must commend you for all what you're doing. And the other comment I would like to have is that uh, let's spread the word around. Uh, a platform like this is good way to communicate to others. There are so many people out there who do not know what to do. This kind of platform would give people the courage that they are not alone. There are people out there who do not join this. So this inaugural launch, I think let's try and extend it to others. He may not have attended it today. Let's talk more about it because the more we have and we bring on board, whether they are amputees or not, that's how we grow the village. That's how we grow the group. And so, once again, thank you very much, Lydia, for putting this. I don't want to talk a lot. I've heard about this foundation in one way or another, and they have done some things, but that's not my day. Today is your day, and I would like to give that limelight for you and the rest of the members who are attending this uh, launch of the Lydia Amputees Foundation podcast. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mike. Mike, before you go, you did not tell us your missing piece. Can you just give me a, because even though you did not say whether you are an amputee or not, but you also have a physical disability that you may want to just give us a glimpse of and just a snip of your missing piece.
All right. As I said in my uh, talk before, I said I wanted this to give you a day, but if you have asked for that, I just want for people to know that I also have some with disability. At the age of 4, I had polio, and I've lived with it for the rest of my life since I was 4 years old. I was made fun of, school, and all kinds of things. But again, it strengthened me. I used to joke in the club with some kids used to imitate the way I walk with a limp. They used to imitate me. And I think that a challenge in that you can imitate the way I walk, but I'll beat you in the classroom. That's how I used to say things to myself. And again, you might get from my accent that I'm not from this continent. I also am from Africa. And there's a lot that I could talk about how I came to know Lydia and all that, but that's by the point. And I would just say that I've lived with that disability. I don't see that a disability. I just look at it that this is something that happened to me. I wasn't born that way. Even if I was born that way, I would still have appreciated life with it. Because I'm alive and I'm fighting. And I've done a lot. Although I had that sort of disability, I've done a lot in my life. And I'm proud of what I've done in my life. I hope that's good enough.
That's wonderful. This is wonderful. Thank you so much, Mike. I'm gonna give the last statement. The butterfly in my stomach is gone. I was worried. I was afraid. I kept talking about the podcast for a while before it becomes a fusion today. For every event that one starts or anything that one starts, The beginning is the hardest. The going forward is just maintaining what was start in the beginning. I want to thank you. The missing piece is here to stay. And we're going to be talking about more and more and more and more. We're going to end up rehabilitating each other one day or another, or one time or another. And every week has its own topic. Thank you all so much for your time, for because this hour meant so much to you, but you spent it with me today on a Sunday afternoon when you could be doing something else. I really do appreciate every one of you. Thank you, and thank you.